Okay, so we are diving deep today into your notes on focus.
Yeah, it looks like you've been doing some serious research.
Well, let's just say my browser history is a bit cluttered.
Ah, I see what you did there.
But seriously, I'm ready to move beyond just reading about it.
You want to actually, use this stuff.
Exactly. So where do we start? I see you've got eliminate distractions highlighted.
Right, it seems kind of obvious, right? Like, yeah, I should probably clean my desk.
But it sounds like you're saying it's more than that.
It really is about understanding how those distractions, even little ones, impact your brain.
Okay, so like how does that pile of papers in the corner relate to my inability to focus on this report?
Well, every single thing you see, everything on your to-do list, it creates what's called an open loop.
Open loop, is that like a tech term?
Kind of. Think of your brain like a computer. It only has so much RAM.
And every unfinished task, every visual distraction.
Every single open loop is taking up precious processing power.
So it's like having a million tabs open in my brain.
Exactly, and it slows your whole system down.
Okay, that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
So decluttering, like physically and mentally, it's like hitting Control plus Alt plus Delete on my brain.
you got it. And it frees up those mental resources so you can actually focus.
Music to my ears. Now, speaking of focus, let's talk about time management techniques.
Yeah, you've got a whole section on the Pomodoro technique.
That one always intrigued me, but honestly, sometimes explaining it to myself feels like it requires more focus than I have.
Well, it's actually very simple. You work in focus bursts, usually 25 minutes, and then take short breaks.
Okay, so far so good.
And this works because it aligns with your natural energy cycles.
You mean like how I'm basically a zombie by 3 p.m.?
Exactly. It's called your ultradian rhythm. And the Pomodoro technique helps you maximize those peak focus times.
So I'm not fighting my natural rhythms, I'm working with them.
Precisely. You're basically hacking your own brain to be more productive.
Genius. Now, you also mentioned something about breaks being important.
Oh, absolutely. Taking breaks is crucial for avoiding burnout. But not all breaks are created equal.
Wait, there's a wrong way to take a break.
Well, think about it. Scrolling through social media might feel like a break, but is it actually restful?
Good point. My thumbs get a workout, but my brain, not so much.
Right. The key is to choose activities that allow your mind to truly disconnect and recharge.
So like a quick walk, maybe some mindful breathing.
Exactly. And the beauty is you can experiment and find what works best for you.
Love it. A personalized approach.
Huh.
Now, let's move on to set clear goals. Because honestly, my to-do list is more like a to-do novel at this point.
Ah, the never-ending to-do list, a classic.
So I'm guessing a clear goal is a bit more than just finish that report.
Way more. It's about having a laser focus on what you want to achieve. Think of it like this. Imagine you're driving somewhere new.
I'm listening.
With a clear destination in mind, your GPS can guide you, even with distractions along the way.
But without a clear goal.
You're driving aimlessly, more likely to get lost, waste time.
Okay, that's a powerful analogy. A clear goal is like my mental GPS, keeping me on track. Now, one more thing I want to touch on is practice mindfulness. I'll admit, that one always felt a bit too zen for me.
I get it, it can seem that way, but it's simpler than you think.
So mindfulness isn't just about chanting on a mountaintop.
Not at all. It's really about being present in the moment, noticing your thoughts and feelings without judgment.
Okay, so how does that help me, like, resist the urge to check my phone every 5 seconds?
It's about recognizing that urge, that distraction, without getting swept away by it. Like, oh, there's that urge again.
Instead of immediately giving in.
You observe it, acknowledge it, and gently redirect your attention back to your task.
Like mental training, building up my focus muscle.
Yes. And just like physical exercise, it takes practice.
Makes sense. So mindfulness is less about emptying my mind and more about, like, managing it.
Exactly. You're training your attention, strengthening your ability to focus.
This has been incredibly helpful. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together.
It's like a toolkit for your brain. And the best part is you can customize it.
So it's not about finding the one right way to focus. It's about figuring out what works best for me.
Exactly. We all have different brains, different work styles. The key is to experiment and find your own personal recipe for focus.
Love that. And you know what? This whole conversation has got me thinking. Some of my most focused moments happen when I'm completely unplugged, like on a hike in nature.
Interesting.
Maybe there's something about those environments, something we can learn from and apply to our daily lives. Something to think about.
Now that's a deep dive.
Until next time.